topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Now here's your host, Emotional Wisdom Training Specialist, Nicole Fortin.
Hello and welcome to the Language of Healing on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV network. And the language of healing, where we become more fluent in the language of our bodies, in becoming our own advocate and our own guide for our bodies, and how that opens up the door for more healing and just living like a more life in alignment, all about alignment. How aligned is your spine, your antenna, shall we say, even that direct channel that gives you the guidance and the reassurance and the security that we all inherently have. Today we have a very exciting show. Again, I'm always excited about the language of healing and all of the topics that we discuss here because they're so closely related to my passions, like what I'm doing and what I study and learn and explore and investigate. It's all for the cause of how can we be more connected to ourselves and be our own captain of the ship, right? Like there's so much external influences, so many out there, and it's hard to tell what's really right for us and what works for us and what we, that aligns with our values and our morals and our ethics. And that's what I want to talk a little bit more about today, is that root-based foundation of what we're living from, where we're living from every day. And one practice that I've really connected with is yoga. And now yoga has many, many meanings, but I was trained in Hatha yoga, in traditional, philosophy of yoga. And I studied in an ashram in India, in Maharashtra, Nasik, India. And that experience was really enlightening because you become closer to the source, right? Like the closer to where it originates, what it's for, what the benefits of it is, what are we doing it for? What are we doing yoga for? That's something I was really curious about. How can yoga benefit my body, my mind, my heart, my spirit? And so it's been almost 13 years now, I went to India and stayed in an ashram, which for those of you who don't know is communal living, really. It's kind of like a monastery or some organized living arrangement where you have your sleeping quarters, your eating quarters, your study section, and all throughout we're helping maintain the property. So there's a thing that maybe some of you are familiar with, the karma yoga, and karma meaning like, the circle, what comes around goes around, to say it very broadly. So karma yoga is like what we would do our own chores. We would help around maybe in the kitchen, cleaning, gardening, taking care of things that really needed attention on the property. And on this ashram, we would wake up with the sound of a bell at 5 a.m. and go into you have some time to wake up and prepare yourself. And then you go into the meditation hall where you would wake up with some chanting or some voice, like awakening the voice, awakening the breath, prana, chi, life force, what oxygen, blood, the things that move through us, waking it up and getting it flowing right. And I mean, really, life is just day by day. We're living day by day. How do we feel in this moment? What is going on around us? What do we want? What are the steps we're taking to get there? And how does it benefit ourselves? How does it benefit those around us? Who is there to support us? How can we support ourselves? And mentors and gurus are fantastic because they can see more of the story, like the bigger picture, right? So it's, we get so caught up in our own lives, very associated into it. We're feeling it, we're thinking it, and believing it. And there is the opposite pole of that, which is disassociated and away from, surveying, observing. And it's becoming more fluent in both of those worlds, associated in and disassociated outward, looking at the situation. And that can be really beneficial because it gets us a broader perspective, right? And so you can look at like what's really going on and gather more information from that. When you're really fixated on one thing, you have the tunnel vision. You're looking directly at something, obsessing over it, thinking about it, keeps you up at night kind of stuff, right? But to step back from it, rise above it, and be in that disassociated space where you are now the wise guru looking at this situation, we'll say below you. I always like to imagine us like as, little birds flying high in the trees, looking down at a situation just to help us disassociate out. Another great example is riding a roller coaster. You're either on the roller coaster, experiencing the ups and the downs and the wind and the stomach churning feeling and the excitement, the thrill, maybe a little bit of the fear or the scaredness of it, anticipation. And that's riding the roller coaster. And then observing the roller coaster. You see the whole track. You see the roller coaster going up and down and spinning around. And you are not really connected to that emotionally, right? You have a broader perspective. So getting better or training ourselves to really step in and out or one side of the next, right? Like polarities is really what we're working with, because there is always night and day, masculine, feminine, hot, cold. And yoga at its root definition means union. Yoga means union. And it means union of the two polar extremes. So it's like, we stretch out and we have extremes, and somehow they come together and they meet in the middle. And that's a state of balance, neutrality almost. If we're talking masculine, feminine perspectives, one end of the pole is masculine, one end is feminine. And in the middle, it becomes more neutral, but this is where it's more even and balanced, right? So we need the whole spectrum. That's kind of where the joy and excitement and, spontaneity and mystery and where the miracles can really happen is in the whole spectrum. And so just remembering that when things get a little bit intense and fixated and getting a lot of your attention. There is also that other extreme where you're like disassociated, looking at it, getting more information from it, because you need to pull away a bit, give it space, right, to really gather more information. And I work with the body quite a lot. And when pain is there, it becomes very fixated. And you think about it, and it hurts, and it bothers you, and it gets a lot of your attention. And my work is around, well, unwinding where that pain really is coming from, improving the functionality of all the body systems, and helping reestablish flow and alignment, and supporting your body in doing what it's meant to do. Where it's meant to self-regulate, it's meant to heal, and it's meant to find a balance. Really, I think that's the ultimate goal. I always think about balance because it's such a relative thing, right? Like, what is balance? How often do we have balance? How long can we hold a balanced state, a balanced and functioning state? When I studied traditional Chinese medicine, and one of the main one of the main principles comes down to yin and yang, night, day, masculine, feminine, hot, cold, these polar opposites. So when and I ask the question, like, what, is balance ever a state? We're always seeking to balance out one or the other to maintain a homeostasis, right? And that's homeostasis. It's the average of the ups and downs. So, just knowing that we are a broad spectrum of everything. So the awareness of that is, step one in becoming balanced, is realizing that we have all of the extremes, and we can choose and work with the different stages, the varying stages of that. And yoga. So actually in the Sanskrit name, the A is silent, so it's yoga. It's kind of like a silent after a subtlety at the end of the word. So yoga. So it's, even thinking about yoga. So you're there. Many of us think, maybe in the Western world, that yoga means movement. It's the postures, but that's actually just one branch of yoga. Yoga has 8 branches, 8 limbs. So they say an asana, or movement posture, is really just one of those 8 branches. So there's a vast knowledge base here to pull from and learn from and use in our lives. And I really feel passionate about talking about it because I went to India to study yoga, not to teach it, but to really balance myself. And, I really enjoyed the movement and the flexibility that it was giving my body. I started out at my local gym. There was a class offered there by this wonderful woman, Sally. I really connected with her, and I learned, she was weird and wonderful in all the right ways, right? Kind of like showing me a different perspective of how to move our body, how to work with our spirit, how to, elongate and be okay in uncomfortable positions. Because one thing I really found about yoga, or asana, the postures, was that the positions that my body resisted the most were the ones I needed the most, where there was most tension, right? So how to breathe and maintain a relaxed and easy accepting state in those uncomfortable positions. So that was what was fun for me about starting yoga. And yoga, yes, I would say that it put me in the best physical condition. I would play sports and I would work out at the gym, but it wasn't really till I started stretching and aligning my body and really pushing my body a little bit to the limit where, okay, my muscles now have to grow and stretch and reach. Like I could not touch my toes. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but bend down. I remember I had this assessment at the gym, and he was testing my flexibility and said, okay, bend, like touch your toes. And I couldn't. I was probably like 3-4 inches from touching it. And I was 18 at the time. So very young, body should be very flexible and nimble. And I came from a very active background where I wasn't not using my body, not moving it. I just wasn't reaching, and really engaging those receptors. Our muscles are actually meant to stretch and meant to elongate, and they function better when we stimulate those polarities, right? Like, stretching out the ends and having them be more flexible and connected. When we stretch it out, there's like this connection that kind of is like, oh, I'm here. This is the limit. This is where I'm coming from. And somewhere in the middle, that needs to be fluid and harmonious and working for me. And then when we find that we're not, when we are limited in our movement, we're limited in our range of motion, so you might not be able to reach as far, might not be able to hold as much, right? Like your strength might be a bit weaker. And so developing those receptors, I think they're called nociceptors. Yeah, anyways, the anatomy of a muscle, the Golgi tendon organs, it's all very cool and can be pinpointed right to a very, like, it's amazing the cellular level that we can reach, and see what's happening with muscle contractions and relaxations and how the different supplements, vitamins, minerals really affect that. So it's a whole picture. It's a whole picture. Are we getting the proper nutrients that our body is requiring us to do these normal functioning activities? Are we feeding it what it really is craving and desiring and needing to function as a whole system? Many systems involved in our bodies. And so yoga, I found, was a very beneficial practice to have in my life. And it's something that I really enjoy passing on to. And there are some things with yoga that maybe, oh, I'm not flexible, I can't do that. It's okay. There's really no judgment in yoga. It's meeting you where you're at and working with your body. That's it. There's no competition. There's no comparison here. It's just working inside. So I really find that it's a great time to be connected into your body. And this is the most wise guide, really, like ourselves, right? And, when we but like when we need a mentor, I'm a firm believer that we need someone who's been there, done it, can see where we're at, has that outside perspective, looking in, and helps guide us to the next steps. But I mean, there's that internal guidance that got you to that teacher in the first place, right? So that's really number one, connecting more into the self. And so that's something that I've been really passionate about, that's probably guided me all around the world and through my studies, is learning more. How can we be more connected and really work with what we have? Because I mean, our bodies are amazing, our spirits are amazing, our heart, our mind, our bodies, where our abilities, our capabilities, we have so much of it, and over time it can become limited, in our like range of motion, but also maybe our mental capacities. And I would love for myself and everyone included to really harness maximum potential that we can while we're here, because we're here and we're doing it. And why not be the best that we can be? I know things get challenging and difficult, and that's where we get stuck, maybe spin. And that's just one side of it, one side of it. So let's explore the other side. And Yoga Nidra, specifically, I'm talking about today, translates to yogic sleep. So it's a state. It's not sleep, though. It's, if we analyze the different brain waves, alpha, beta, delta, theta, alpha would be the most active. Like, I'm engaging, I'm alert, I'm, more in the front of my brain. And then, with the beta, the delta, theta waves, they get a bit deeper. And then when we're really like restful sleeping, we're deep in those brain waves, and we have those REM cycles, the sleep cycles, we're dreaming here. There's all sorts of subconscious, unconscious realm stuff happening in sleep. It's quite amazing, right? Almost like, I don't know if you can relate, but like transporting, it's almost like sometimes you're in another world, right? You're taken to another world. This is another aspect of your life when you're awake and you're engaging with people. You're consciously doing that, right? And then there are the other subconscious, unconscious realms at play, but not as front and center as in our dream state. So dreams are very, very fascinating. Sleep is something of keen interest to me, because this is where, I don't know, just the other extreme, right? So then how do we balance the wakefulness with the sleepfulness, the benefits of both in one? And Yoga Nidra is designed to implement some of those deeper desires, or implement the wakefulness with the sleepfulness. So Yoga Nidra, yogic sleep, is not really sleep, but it's a deep state of relaxation and an open invitation to healing and implementing your new intentions, or what you desire, or what you really want for yourself. You could just really want a good rest, and that would provide you for it, but you're awake and you're alert during it. So it's not quite sleeping, it's the state just before that, where you're out of your head, but you're in your body. You're in this miracle space, I would say, because I see it a lot. I experience this a lot, and it's one of my favorite places to go with clients. So I have been trained in yoga, obviously Hatha yoga, massage therapy, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, emotional wisdom training, which is based on neurolinguistic programming practices, rewiring our language and our brains around our beliefs and our feelings and thoughts. And when I find, amongst all of those modalities that I practice, when someone is in a really deep, relaxed state, they're more receptive, and the truth is more accessible. So say, I'm maybe you've experienced it. If you love, massage, or getting a pedicure, or manicure, when you're just like sitting there and you can just like kind of, enjoy it, and your mind goes a little blank, and you're just in this state, when your muscles twitch, when you're like just about sleeping, that's where it is. You're still awake and you're still conscious, but you're kind of in this other realm. So you're really floating between the two, and this is a really cool space to work in. And Yoga Nidra is that. And the practice of Yoga Nidra is about getting there and holding it, being alert and awake, and aware, and you're coming into the practice of Yoga Nidra with a Sankalpa or an intention, a resolve, something that you are wanting to become a reality or is a reality and that you're enjoying and embracing. And it requires consistency, determination. And so the more you practice this state of being, the more easily what you want becomes a reality. And so in my practice, I love doing this, cultivating this state for someone, because, at the beginning of the session, we could say, okay, what do you want? What is it that you're wanting out of this session? And so we set the intention, the clear intention, or the sankalpa at the beginning, and then we go through the session and you get to this state. Meanwhile, with this intention in mind, and at the end, there's, you've done this process. You've gone through your whole body. And when I'm working with someone, it can be a bit more passive because I'm the guide then, right? I'm guiding the energy, I'm guiding you, and we're more intently on this one channel, right? But you can tap into that yourself. And that's one of the main things with the language of healing is really giving you that opportunity or exposing you to more, right? Like what works for you and what can be beneficial in your life. What can you do in the moment when you feel like you're spinning and things are a bit overwhelming, or you feel like you're at one pole, too much at one pole, and you need some balance or even just some rest. So Yoga Nidra is about 30 minutes takes to practice. I wanted to take you through just a little bit of a process to awaken the body. And so if you do have a blanket or a mat that you can lay down on your back in Shavasana, which is the dead corpse pose. So just laying on your back, palms open, facing the ceiling or the sky, and feet are slightly splayed apart, and you're just relaxing there. This, they say, is the most challenging yoga position of all of them. Just laying on your back. Because you have to relax every muscle in your body. Yes, total relaxation. And that is difficult. We're very used to action and productivity, and often inaction and rest is looked upon as a weakness or something that's not productive or something that's really like wasting time. And it's quite the contrary. I really believe that with rest comes more better functionality, and that's what sleep should be, right? We're giving the body time to rest and heal and recover. But that's a whole other topic we could go into with the circadian rhythms, the natural flows of our energies throughout the day, and resting, sleeping between 11 and 5 a.m., 7 a.m. is really, really beneficial. Getting to bed before that 11 a.m. or 11 p.m., 11 p.m. is really important, because 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., 3 a.m. is a specific time where we regenerate our nervous system and we heal and recover our tissues, and circulation is going. It's like the clean cycle. And if we stay up past that time, it could actually be a very productive, creative time. This is where a lot of artists will spend late nights working, because they're inspired and they're creative, and there is that energy. But and it's also beneficial for recovering and resting and repairing your body. So I think that there's this window of opportunity, but you use it as you see fit, right? Sometimes you can really get it done, and that's really good. But being aware of the body, listening to the inner guidance, right? That's what it's really about. It's like, where's my body? What needs to be done? What do I want? Then what needs to be done, right? So yeah, Yoga Nidra. So if you have some time and the space to lay on your back and get comfortable and just positioning yourselves, we're going to slow it down a little bit and become more aware of our bodies. And I want you to bring to mind your Sankalpa. Sankalpa is Sankalpa. Sankalpa. It means your resolve, your intention. It's what you want to implement or embed into your subconscious, unconscious, from the conscious realm. And I find breathing is a really good bridger too, because you have the left and right nostril. Left and right is polar opposites. So left and right nostrils come together to meet one, the bridge of the nose. So there is union within polarity, always. Even the Taiji, the yin and the yang, is symbolized by the black and the white sort of teardrop looking thing, but they are one within another, right? There's no separation. It's all together, but they can be very polar extremes coming together. So this is the state. So with your breath, you can really change your brain chemistry. You can get to that space quite easily. And we can talk about that another day. Breath, Swara Yoga is a whole science around breathing. But today we're just going to go into Yoga Nidra, the yogic sleep. So getting comfortable, and if you're sitting in a chair, that's okay too. Preferably laying down, but just getting comfortable and breathing and aligning your spine. And just letting your sit bones and your shoulders and your head to be heavy into the mat, your heels, the backs of your knees, hips, back, head, resting into the mat. And taking a moment to get comfortable there. I'm going to chime some chimes, and we'll begin the process of Yoga Nidra. So making your final adjustments. Bringing your awareness to the right hand thumb, right index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky fingers. All fingers together. Bringing attention and awareness to the palm of your hand, palm of your right hand, and the right wrist. Relaxing the right forearm, elbow, upper arm. Relaxing the whole right arm. Relaxing the right shoulder. Right collarbone, right side of chest, right rib cage, right side torso, right side hip, relaxing whole right side torso. And bringing your awareness now to the left hand thumb, left index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. All fingers together. Relaxing the left hand palm, and left hand wrist. Relax. Relaxing the left hand forearm, elbow, and upper arm. Relaxing the left shoulder, left collarbone, left hand torso, rib cage, waist, left hip, relaxing the left hip, relaxing the left side torso, left hand arm, all together. During the practice of Yoga Nidra, you are to remain alert and aware and awake, and bringing your attention through your whole body. Now bringing your awareness to your left or middle sternum, which is your upper chest. Relax. Relaxing the middle belly, relax. Relaxing the pelvis, whole pelvis, relax. Relaxing the right side thigh, upper thigh, relax. Right side knee, relax. Right calf, shin, and ankle. Right leg, relax. Relaxing the top of the foot, top of the right foot, bottom of the right foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and relaxing the right fifth toe. All toes together. Relaxing the entire right side of the leg. And bringing your awareness now to the left thigh. Relax. Left knee, relax. Relaxing the left calf, shin, ankle, whole left leg, relax. Awareness to the top of the left foot, the sole of the left foot, relax. The left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Relax. Whole left side leg, relax. And relaxing all toes together. All toes together. Relaxing both feet together. Relaxing both legs together. Relaxing your entire pelvis. Entire pelvis. Deep and relaxed. Abdomen. Relaxing the abdomen. Relaxing rib cage. Relaxing heart. Sternum. Clavicles. Relaxing both shoulders together. Both shoulders together. Relaxing arms, elbows, wrists. Palms of hands, backs of hands, all fingers together. Relaxing, and now bringing awareness to the back of the neck. Back of the neck, relax. Back of skull, relax. Skull is heavy on the mat. Relaxing cheekbones. Left cheekbone, right cheekbone. Relaxing eyeballs. Right eyeball, left eyeball. Left eyebrow, right eyebrow. Relax. Relaxing the forehead. Forehead relax. Top of head relax. Relaxing eyeballs. Relaxing the nose. The tongue. The jaw. Whole face relax. And just keeping an easy breath. Whole body relaxed. Whole body relaxed. Giving it space. Holding that space. Holding that relaxation. Training our bodies to hold the relaxation for longer. And awareness, holding that awareness for longer. Awareness of our body, awareness of our breath, awareness of our surroundings, our capabilities, our abilities. Whole body relax. And in this space is where you remind yourself of your Sankalpa, or your intention, your resolve, what you want, what you are determined to create as a reality. Freeing the body from attachments and tension creates the space for what we want to come in. And the more we practice giving our body, allowing our body to be in this receptive state, the more quickly and easily these things come to us. And taking a couple of final breaths here. We'll begin to bring our awareness back into the present. And coming back, you can start to move your fingers and your toes, bending them, flex and extend, circling your wrists and your ankles. Maybe bending your knees and your elbows and stretching above you. Stretch your whole body. Bringing it back, you can gently begin to open your eyes. Feeling more present and centered and aware of your body. Awareness with acceptance creates an awakening. This is one of the main principles from emotional wisdom training. That awareness of the past creates acceptance of the present and awakening to the future. And this is where the real magic happens. And this is where we can train our body, train our mind, train our spirit, train our heart into more functionality, functioning together, more alignment, all three together, whole body together, working as a unit, in unison, practicing yoga, union of the polarities, which creates more movement forward, more fluid movement. And so I hope in these times when things might feel chaotic or overwhelming or depressive or exciting, that there is this balance that you can train your body to be in, to restore and recover. And Yoga Nidra is a 30-minute practice. You know, at most there's more to it. We just did a little bit here today to get you used to it or introduce that to your body. But the more you practice and the more you can hold that charge, hold that space, holding the intention, the better it is for you. The more productive, more functional you are. So moments of rest are not non-productive. They are very productive with the right intention. So I will leave you with that. And if you have any more questions around getting more clarity around your intention, feel free to ask me. You can find me at thelanguageofhealingradio.com. You can find me on Facebook at The Language of Healing TV, on YouTube, and can also find me on my personal website at nicolefortinhealing.ca. And I will look forward to speaking with you again soon. I hope you have a restful weekend, exciting weekend. And what will you take with you from this conversation that will support you for the rest of your life?
Wow, what a show today, and the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4CY Radio and Talk 4 TV. See you next week.